it warms my heart to watch these things, because there's an alchemy that happens in a room with people that all know what the other ones are doing, and you understand how hard it is, and there's no loud music playing. And that's what we figured out 4.5 years ago. This is a rare thing, and if you're at home and you're laboring, you're writing music, you're not being appreciated, and you can't get it listened to, and you just want to be heard, this is like a shot in the arm this night. So everybody enjoy each other, because this is magic. Ow! Ow! I'm going to do a year in review, because it is December. I'm going to do it fast. We started with Portland Music Month 2022. It was the first annual year, and Omicron drove a truck through it. So I know there are some folks here who actually had Portland Music Month shows last January, and if they went off at all, there were like 3 people there, the one super fan in the front that's a little hard to perform for. But you all have them. So this year we'll talk about it. We're doing it again, and we've hosted 12 First Mondays. Many of them until August were online. For those of you that joined those, thank you. It was kind of a lifeline for a lot of people, just to be able to talk to other people, have some topical conversations, and know what was going on. We had our first Echo Fund award cycle. Thank you, Missy Hastings, who created this thing from scratch and fielded 110 applications, seeking $400,000 in grant funding for projects. We could only support 19 of the projects, but we were able to give away almost $50,000, and those artists are now out there doing it. Yeah. It's the reason we have Portland Music Month, which is, look there, in the flesh, one of our winners right there. So ask him about his project. So the reason that we do Portland Music Month is to raise money for the Echo Fund to give these project grants. And so we were incredibly lucky to have Missy, who was willing to basically give up her own life for 3 months, about 3 months. And I was like, Missy, could you? She's like, no, this is hard. It's really hard. And we are sadly losing Missy from Music Portland, because she has a job she could not say no to, which is perfect for her. I'm so incredibly appreciative of what she has done for this community, what she's done for me, and she is going on to something great. She's still going to be around. She'll still come to First Mondays. Look, I'm going to get all I'm not going to tell it now. She's just begging for it. We'll sing happy birthday once everybody gets a little more liquored up. So we won recognition from the state legislature after a hard fight to recognize what all of us do as an emerging economic sector. Yes. That is absolutely the key for everything. Because if you're not recognized as having economic value, you don't matter. You're a nice to have. The fact is, we are not just a nice to have. We are making this city what it is. We're making it a place where people want to live, work, and visit, and it needs to be recognized. This is the first step, and we'll be talking in a minute about the census, which is the first step of that. The state legislature funded a study, and the first thing they said, great, we're going to do an economic study. And I said, you have no data about music. We'll do a study, we'll do a census. And you'll be hearing from people talking about that in a minute. We have 342 members. 82% of those are paying the minimum $25 a year. Every one of those is important, because for every paid member, we can go to a funder and say, they say, well, how many paid members do you have? We say, we have this many. We need more. If you're not paying $25 a year, you're getting more than that in cupcakes tonight. So please make sure that you do that. It's $3 a month. if a can of a PBR is the easier way to think about it. And it does bear mentioning that our total member dues and revenue for the entire year is $28,000. As we talk about all the things we've been able to accomplish, think about that. We work really damn hard. We've been mobilizing against Live Nation, specifically ownership of a venue. Live Nation already promotes a lot of shows here, and we're fine with that. We do not want them to own a venue, because that kicks into the whole predatory thing that they've done in other cities, where they just want to own it all. So to be clear, it's a little bit nuanced. We are not pro-Live Nation ownership. We're not anti-Live Nation booking. But we will fight tooth and nail to keep them from owning something. So keep an eye out for that. And if I put the call out, if I put the bat signal up in the sky, show up, okay? Because we may need to mobilize. We've intervened and advocated for venues that were having trouble with the city. We've called out unintentional racial biases in statewide grant making and provided them with review panelists of color to mitigate the problems. We promoted Hip Hop Week. We've worked with Friends of Noise, Bloodworks, and the Music in Our Blood program. Go to musicinourBlood.com and sign up to give blood. There's a critical shortage, and Bloodworks has been doing this thing called Music is in Our Blood.
I have a question about it.
Yes?
Is it just in Washington we get waterfall?
No, you can do it here too.
Okay.
Yeah, the majority of their program is in Washington, but they asked us to promote it too, and you can do it here, sign up on their site, and just make sure that we're doing it. They're trying to get 10,000 new people donating blood. We also work with the Holler Fund, which is another funding source, some people that wanted to give money to musicians. We will support anybody. We are a convener as an organization. We don't have to do it all ourselves, but it feels like it sometimes. We talked to 108 Portland city leaders in Nashville to make clear why we are not going to follow Nashville's track to becoming a music city. We've answered a million questions, we've made a zillion introductions, we've comforted many of you, and hopefully we've made all of us feel more hopeful about what it means to be a music professional here and now. Because, I don't know, people call me Pollyanna, but I keep hoping. And it gets harder, but we're standing together, we make it easier. I'm all emotional, I don't know what's going on.
We love you, Meara.
So, that's our year. Right now, here's what's happening. Portland Music Month is happening in January. How many people were aware of it last year? How many people knew what Omicron was last year? Yeah, we were upstaged. So Portland Music Month is a month-long citywide multi-venue music festival. All the venues, 26 of them participated, host shows with artists who agree to an upcharge on the ticket. All of those upcharges go directly into the Artist Grant Fund. I also have sponsors who are listed at the bottom there. Love the sponsors. We are trying to cultivate a culture where the corporate people that are benefiting from the music reality in Portland to pay into it. So if you have any cause to be with any of these businesses, let them know you see them and you know that they're standing up with music. Half of everything that they put into it goes directly into the Artist Fund. Joff, you're the only one here. Joff is right there on the bucket. He's 5-Star Guitars. And he sponsored us last year, and when it was just a whiff of air, and he sponsored us again without hesitation this year.
Thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah.
But the big news is that, I have two big news. One is that because gas prices are so high, and because there are, I think, a lot of touring acts that might have been on the road and taking up gig spots, they're not out because it's really, really cost prohibitive to tour right now. And January is a tough month anyway. A lot of these venues have more spots still available than you would expect. If people are keen to approach any of the venues listed, go to them with a bill and say you want the bill to be a Portland Music Month show. And the reason that you want to be a Portland Music Month show is that we have a See Shows Win Big sweepstakes this year. For every show that you go to in January, you earn exponentially more chances in a drawing. If you go to 2 shows, you have 4 entries. If you go to 5 shows, you have 25 entries.
Oh.
If you go to 10 shows, how many, Brendy? Somebody said 1,000, and I love you for it, but no, it's 100. But the prizes are a 1974.5 cherry red reconditioned convertible MG Midget Roadster. No, can you imagine being that? I feel like one of those big head cartoons, you know, that or 2 first-class tickets anywhere in the continental U.S., Hawaii, or Alaska, or and a beautiful top-of-the-line e-bike.
Yeah.
Go see shows. Go approach venues and tell them you want to play a Portland Music Month show, and you'll take any date they have in January. And make sure you're out seeing shows. Tell all your friends to go out and see shows. Let's just pack the house and light up January. And let me see. The other thing I'll say before I pass it over to some other folks is, this is brand new, Music Video Month. Music Video Month is being done in coordination with the film industry here in town, and they have negotiated unbelievably deep discounts with all of the film production vendors and spaces and different things, so that if you have $1,000 to spend on a music video, do it in January. Sign up on musicvideomonth.com and you find all the discounts. You can find an amazing filmmaker and visionary. You can get a really expensive video for not much money if you do it in January. So go check out that website. Let me see, is there anything else? Stephen? Anything else? Yep.
On the videos, is $1,000 the threshold, or is that?
No. You can come in with $5,000, you get a $20,000 video. Yeah.
So whatever.
Yeah, it's just every dollar you spend on a video in January is going to be money well spent with a much higher production value. Yeah, so that's going to be super cool. I want to ask, we're going to talk about the census at the very end. Is that the plan?
Yeah.
Okay. In the meantime, we're going to be talking about AmptUp.
Yeah.
So let's hear it for AmptUp. Sponsoring the raffle, which I believe is about to happen right this minute, and also the cupcakes.
Yeah!
Cupcakes.
Do not make me take those home.
All right.
3 or 4 each. Hi everybody, I'm Holly, the founder of AmptUp, a Portland-based, female-founded, mission-based company. Our mission is threefold. First and foremost is to make it easier for all of you to make a living. Second is to diversify the stage so that women, people of color, LGBTQ musicians have a fair shot at the stage. And third, and this is really important to me, being from Portland and watching my musician friends leave, is to make any city a music city. So I think that there is room for Portland to grow and to celebrate the great and really diverse music culture that we have here. And we give back a portion of all of our revenues and booking fees directly back into grants for musicians and independent venues. So that's who we are. We've already given away a couple of these beautiful t-shirts here to Moody and Elijah and a couple of others here. So if you are interested in having this wonderful shirt and you want to see what AmptUp is about, we help connect musicians with paying venues, and we help elevate everybody's career so that you have a contract every time. You know what the terms of the deal are before you even settle on the date and say yes. So that you have everything that you know going into it to make a decision that's going to elevate your career. It's free to join, and we would love to have you. We're specifically trying to fill some dates right now, even just at the end of December. We've got some dates we still need to fill. We are looking for bands that are folk, singer-songwriter, musicians, hip-hop, and cover bands are 3 areas that we really need, but we are open to anybody that would like to join us. We just booked 9 bands just in the last week. So we just started in September here in Portland. So we would love to help place you and recommend you to the venue. It's totally between you and the venue. You negotiate everything. We don't get in the way, but we're there to help you as much as we can. So go to AmptUp.com. It's AMPTUP. .com and just click get started and let me know if you sign up for a demo and I'll give you this wonderful shirt. Now I'm going to turn it over to John to explain how amazing this piece of gear is for any gearheads out in the audience. Worth a $500 value. Brand spanking new. Go for it, John.
Thank you, Holly. Yeah, this is pretty awesome. This is the newest generation in the Focusrite Claret series, Claret Plus, 2 preamp USB audio interface. These things, I love Focusrite, and this is kind of their top of the line thing going right now. This is really the perfect thing for solo singer-songwriters. You can record and mix and master your songs and your whole album if you want to on this. There's integrated software. And you can also add in through an ADAT switch, add in 8 more channels so you can get your buddy's drum set rolling in on it too. It's can be used for Mac or PC. It's got 2 ultra low noise preamps, and you can plug your guitar, keyboards, microphones, whatever you need to do. Ultra low distortion, super low latency, high resolution 24-bit 192 kHz digital analog conversion, has MIDI in and out, has a really nice software selection in the box, including keyboard, drums, and guitar amp simulators, mixing and mastering software, and like I said, you can record your whole album with this, plus it's red, which is my favorite color.
Way to bury the lead, John.
Okay, ready? Okay.
My
Cross
glasses
your fingers. Everybody out there is a gearhead. Ready? I've got ticket number. Can I get a drum roll? 38.
Yeah.
67.
Yeah.
0.
Yes.
5. 1.
I think it's me.
What kind of music do you
Yeah.
play?
I play accordion and I do light looping and
Thank you. When's your next show?
Friday at the Haymaker.
All right. Thank you so much for everything that you do to make Portland an amazing place full of culture. I did want to tell you, last thing is during the month of January, Music Month, we are going to be putting on, in partnership with Music Portland, an event, because we often do educational events, called How to Make More Money as a Musician. And what we do is we've spent hundreds of hours interviewing musicians, interviewing venues one-on-one when they had nothing else to do except talk with us. And so we collect a lot of information that musicians just are not going to be in a position to get from out of them. So if you'd like to learn more about how to make more money out of as a musician and do just a few small changes, get in touch with me. I'll get you on our mailing list and we'll let you know the date. Have a great night. And
Give it up for Holly Moore. Let's give a big hand to everybody here at the Mission Theater for seeing us tonight. The only time I'll ever be on this stage in any capacity, but I don't know. I mean, you know. Anyway, so first of all, I'm up here actually to talk about the census, and we have very serious things to ask you to help with. But I do want to say something about Meara, just because people need to hear this. So this week, I've had this great 9 months where my whole life as a musician just got awakened, you know, and she has this effect on people. And those of you who've been to Music Portland meetings understand what this is, which is a family. And Mother has done a lot for me, and she's done it for you too. But one of the things that is very unique about Music Portland, and I was talking to Sherry, who I'm going to introduce in a moment, about having worked in numerous nonprofits over my long lifetime. And generally speaking, you don't meet people who, they have ideas but they can't get things done. And Meara is a person who gets more done than any other nonprofit I've ever worked with. And it's been just this one person working with a board too. Hi, Tyler. but it's really remarkable what's happened. One example is to get the census funded, which this is a state of Oregon. The legislature said, yes, we need to look at the economic sector that is commercial music. But legislatures all over the country say things like that. But what they don't generally do is give money to appropriate, you know, the execution of that law. And she was able to get both done. You're a powerhouse, and there are so many other, I mean, really, it just needs to be acknowledged frequently that Meara McLaughlin has our back, and she's doing amazing things.
Yes, she is.
Very, very lucky to have Sherry Jameson, who's joined the team to help execute this census. And you have probably received a couple of emails from us so far. Has everybody, tell me if you've filled out the census yet. Tell me if you've received a notice and you're getting ready to, yes. So you're starting to see this. Please don't unsubscribe. Just stick with this. And what we need is, before the night is over, we're going to ask you if you might be willing to volunteer, because we need a street team that can just help us deliver some flyers to venues, that can help out perhaps in a digital way. Some people can't drive around. But I want to introduce you to Sherry. She'll say just a few words about what we're looking for. And over the next 45 days, you're going to hear a lot from Music Portland and Music Oregon asking you to participate. But do you understand what it means to participate? It means that the state will finally say, okay, we've got some data that proves that the commercial music industry is creating value, not just for themselves, but for tourism, for restaurants that are located near a venue, for all these other things that are sort of tangential, but they create economic value. And therefore, we deserve to see the same kinds of incentives that any other economic sector would command. So that's what we're shooting for, and it was birthed by you, Meara. Thank you for doing that for all of us.
Yes.
And then Sherry's going to talk a little bit about what we need.
Thank you so much. Again, I'm Sherry Jameson. I just joined the team like today, yesterday, to help steward this program, and we need all of your support. It is a huge endeavor, and we're getting the word out. And that's really, in addition to you just filling out the census, tell everybody you know. Anybody who's a musician, performing, anyone who's involved with venues, everything you've shared. Anyone, really. But it's important that they're living here in the state of Oregon. We especially need connections in the other metro areas. So I will be over here after these announcements. If you're interested and you're willing to connect and offer even just a few minutes of your time to contact a few people on a phone list or a texting phone bank event, let me know. I'll get your contact information, or you can always email info@musicportland.org.
So 3 pieces of information, and you can shore this up when you go over and talk to Sherry afterwards. It's totally anonymous. Nothing that you say there is aggregated to your name or your identity, and you're not even putting your name in there. So that's one thing. Second, there's a deadline, and we have to start getting these rolling in. So that's important to recognize too. And then there was one other thing.
What's the deadline?
January 15th.
January 15th. And last but not least,
Press submit. Oh,
Yes.
that's the submit button. at the
Yeah, we're
end.
finding some people get to the end, they're like, cool, done, and then they leave.
On the way and abandon their cart. Don't do that. But anyway, yes, thank you, Sherry, for all you're doing. So we'll.
So for me, like, in economic terms, if you're not counted, you don't count. We don't count right now, because nothing that the industry or that any professionals use to assess an industry counts music properly, because the codes that the government uses to track industries haven't kept up with music. They have nothing about electronic distribution of music. CD Baby is still other retail excluding tobacco, because there's nothing that describes what they do. So that, because we come in with very low numbers, that's how much policy priority we get, that's how much funding priority we get, that's how much tax incentive creativity is applied to us, that's how much credit we get from the money that tourism brings in. If we are not counted, we don't count.
What industries have been counted? Like in
Yeah, manufacturing, shoes, timber, outerwear, it's a big one here. So those are places where, and in other places, and this is stuff I'm giving you all because what we want you to do is not only take this census, but then to tell everybody and become active evangelists. Because for the 30 people that you know that are also in professional music, you are responsible for every one of them filling this thing out. Because your future in music depends on it. Because music is on the ropes. You know, when you see the biggest names in music saying they can't make it, tours don't feed their family. They're feeding everybody else, but they're not feeding the artist. There's something wrong. We need to assess what we have here and do it differently. In Texas, they have liquor tax abatements for music venues that hire Texas artists and pay them a living wage. Imagine, there are places where they protect music venues from construction and infill with acoustic zoning because they matter and because they have economic value. We're doing that now. And in fact, Brendy and Derek, who's here somewhere, are doing multiple studies that you can find. There's a QR code up here. They're doing some study to actually look at that in the Portland area specifically about rehearsal spaces and performance venues and how we can protect them from infill. It's just really, really important, and every single one of you needs to become an evangelist, and I will stop talking, but not before I introduce somebody. Dan Eason, come up and show your face. What, 9 months ago? No, it was over a year ago. It was just before.
It was like right at the beginning of COVID. Well, I guess
it was just before last Music Month, I think. We
right.
We had this cool idea that said we should make music videos. We should do something. Explain what you do.
So my name is Dan Eason. I run Vision Stages. It's a sound stage for film, television, and commercial productions. We're actually in Troutdale. I am not in the music industry. I signed up for Music Oregon as a fan of music. I'm like very passionate about it, but I don't actually create music. My friends are DJs, musicians. It is a very, very hard industry to be in, and I understand that. As a filmmaker, I understand like licensing gets very complicated. I also understand what it's like to be an artist. And then when we had the Office of Film and Television combined with like the events.
With film and music and events, and it just, And the two of us were like, no, we just got to make music videos. How can we help music videos happen? Now, how do we do it in the same way we're having Music Month in the month when everybody stays home on their couch? How can we get people out and supporting the film industry and supporting the music industry? And this guy went off and approached like all the leading film production supply houses and got them all to do deep discounts if you shoot your film in January.
Yeah, so from our perspective, in the film industry, January is very, very slow. We're trying to create some activity. I think with Music Month, it's a great opportunity for folks who want to get their dollars to go extra far. We have all of the film vendors. We also have venues, whether they be like for musical acts performances or whether they be film studios. However you're creating your marketing materials, you have an opportunity in January to get more bang for your buck. So we've got all these discounts, they run deep. We're reaching out to record labels, whether they be major or indies. Bands can sign up, and then you match with filmmakers who are also looking to create. So once you pair up, you can get anywhere from like 15 to 50% discounts during the month of January if you sign up to make a music video in Oregon for the month of January. And then later on in like May, we're looking for doing a showcase, and we're seeking sponsorship opportunities and reaching out to some of our other platforms to get a showcase. So some of these music videos that are created during the month of January can then be elevated. So whether you're a large act, or whether you're a large filmmaker or a small act, pairing with someone who's larger than you, you'll be adjacent to and elevated by some of these other performances. So.
Yeah, and this will be our first year, and it's short notice for you guys to go, oh, we want to make a video? I guess we could.
Yeah.
But, yeah, sorry, she just shot one like last week.
No, but she still wants to do it.
Oh, good, okay, cool. But this year is the first year. Next year, you're gonna know it's coming again, and we want you guys to start thinking this way. Plan your production schedule when you fuck has the biggest bang. So talk to Dan more about it. He is our champion in the film side.
Can any aged person participate in this program?
In Music Video Month?
Yes.
Hell yes.
Great.
It's actually open for all people, like whether your budget is $500 or you got $5 million from your whatever, like whatever your budget size is, you can participate in all of the discounts. There is one stipulation: if you don't have production insurance, there are certain vendors that won't allow you to sign up for their discounts because they require insurance. However, we've created a separate list of vendors that are owner-operators, so they'll go out with insurance for you, which is now you've got to curate a list for folks who don't have production insurance to create discounts.
So when you say production insurance, how is that in alignment or in contrast with general liability insurance?
Different
thing.
Yeah, so if you just generally don't have insurance, like if you're going to go on a location that does or doesn't require insurance, so like a venue will require insurance. If you're on a private property, someone's house, they're not going to require insurance. So we've created an opportunity for folks who don't have insurance in any capacity to say, here are the people who won't let me sign up. Here's the list of people who are participating in this with discounts. So now we know like where we can go and where we fit in.
So Friends of Noise has a general liability insurance policy, like a $2 million cap. So I guess the question is, if we were able to have this facility or the space be listed as co-insured, or if we got a certificate of insurance, would that fit, or does it need to be specifically production insurance?
For rental houses for equipment, you
Right.
need production insurance. For a location, I think that depends per location, because a music venue is different than a private property.
Right.
You know, that's different than like if you're going into some warehouse and has some other
Okay.
performance.
And if somebody buys him a beer and gets him to take his coat off because he just ran in, I'm sure he's going to stand here by the glow of the red lights and answer any and all questions. And I really hope people do this, because I think it was a genius idea that came out of the bat. And let's just make some incredible visuals to go with our music in January. All right?
Yeah.